What is good, Ambush? And welcome to this week's episode of the Desert Tiger Podcast, here with me, your host of Desert Tiger. I am Colton G, and this week here on the DTP, I am joined by singer-songwriter, by emerging pop artist Olivia Lunny, as we discuss her brand new single. That's right, it's so new that it dropped today. It's hot, it's fire, it's fresh out the oven. We're going to be playing it for you right away here. Before we do that, you guys know we're going to give you a little bit of a brief description into Olivia Lunny. Before we get there, we have to take a little bit of time to take care of a little bit of business. So first things first, I want to shout out ilovedtp.com. You guys know that it's the best place to support the podcast. You guys know that it's where you go to get decked out in the latest and greatest Desert Tiger podcast merch. Well, unfortunately, right now, merch is taking a little bit longer than it normally would. So those hats and toques are we're still waiting for them, but as soon as we have them, we will let you know. We're also getting a little bit low on shirts, too, in the current crisis. We're pretty much all out of smalls. 2XL or higher, we're pretty much out of exactly. You're looking for a medium, a large, or an XL, though, we got you covered over at ilovedtp.com. I also want to take a moment to shout out Audible, because Audible is offering you guys, the Ambush, one free audiobook with a 30-day trial subscription of the Audible service. And you guys can check that out by heading on over to audibletrial.com/Desert Tiger, and it's that easy. It's that easy to get immersed in the largest collection of audio programs on the internet today. All right, let's go! Olivia Lunny is a singer-songwriter from Winnipeg with a sound that fuses catchy pop melodies and alternative waves. Writing music since the age of 12, songwriting became Olivia's way of journaling and a creative outlet to express her feelings. Her evolving sound harnesses a mellow vibe with velvety vocals and ambient guitar sounds, combined with elegant lyrics exploring universal topics, such as heartbreak and navigating the uncertain waters of entering adulthood. Releasing her debut EP at the age of 17, Olivia quickly began to make a name for herself, being nominated for a Western Canadian Music Award for Pop Artist of the Year in 2018, and then following it up with the opportunity to be included in Season 2 of CTV's hit show The Launch. Not only did Olivia get the chance to learn from experienced legends of the music business while on the show, but she also won her week, earning the right to record and release I Got You. And since the song's release, it has received almost 1 million streams on Spotify alone. Now, with another solid stride in the direction that Olivia has felt her heart pulling her towards, she is using the lessons that she has learned to continue on this path. And the journey now has another large stride, another big stepping stone with her new single, Think of Me, a catchy tune just in time to pick up your spirits as spring flowers start to bloom, and we say goodbye to winter's gloom. All right, you guys, Olivia Lunny joins me today on the Desert Tiger Podcast. We discuss her decision to be a career musician straight out of high school. We discuss her time on The Launch and what she has learned, how it has helped her grow. We also discuss her brand new single, Think of Me, and I think it's about time that we go ahead and spin that track before we jump into this conversation with the highly talented Olivia Lunny. So let's do that. This is Think of Me.
We're at the same place at the same time. Do you see me? I hope you do. I wanna ask about your new place, but I won't, 'cause I got everything to lose. Every time I close my eyes, somebody else when you're drinking by yourself? Tell me what you do. Do you think of me when you're driving home at night and something don't feel right? Tell me what you do. Do you think of me? I hope that I can be dishonest if you tell me you're ready. I guess I'll learn to love the seasons. If I don't, then I'll be broke. It's bittersweet. I remember our last summer. Now I wonder, do you think of me when you're with somebody else? When you're drinking by yourself? Tell me what you do. Do you think of me when you're driving home at night and something don't feel right? Tell me what you do, 'cause I think of you. 'Cause I think of you. Think of me, last summer we were lovers, made one mistake, lost each other. Last summer we were lovers, made one mistake. Do you think of me when you're with somebody else? When you're drinking by yourself? Tell me what you do. Do you think of me when you're driving home at night and something don't feel right? Tell me what you do, 'cause I think of you. 'Cause I think of you. Think of me, baby. 'Cause I think of you. Think of me. Do you think of me?
The Desert Tiger Podcast.
Hi there, is this Colton?
This is Colton.
Hey Colton, it's Olivia Lunny calling. How are you?
I am fantastic, Olivia, and how are you doing today?
I am great, thank you. I am just at home in quarantine, hanging out, but I can't complain. I'm healthy, so.
I mean, that's... At this point, that's all really a lot of us can truly ask for.
Right? 100%. Whereabouts are you in the world? Are you in Toronto or?
I am located in Kamloops, British Columbia.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome. I am in Winnipeg, so I'm sure you have better weather than us right now.
Yeah, right now the sun is shining pretty brightly. I think it's already hit the double digits. How are things where you are?
The sun is out, but we've been getting these random snow falls. So like 2 days ago we got tons of snow, and then I woke up today, it's all melted. So our weather's kind of playing tricks on us, but hopefully it's gone now for good.
Well, Mother Nature has a will of her own, and she likes to do as she pleases sometimes.
Of course.
Okay, cool. Well, I'd like to dive into your beginning as a singer-songwriter at around the age of 12, and then we'll lead up to the new single, and we'll take a deep dive into that and what you have going on planned for the future, or at least what you have planned based on how things may have possibly been affected.
Totally. Yeah, no, I would love to give you a bit of a background on myself, I guess. So I'm currently 21 now, but yeah, I started kind of playing music around 10 to 12 years old, but to even go back before that, I guess music for me was just, I was always around it. It was always in my house on weekends. My parents would put on like the Eagles live concert DVD or just stuff like that in the car. Going to school, my dad would play music, so I was kind of always just immersed in music. I took piano lessons for a bit from a young age, and then when I was about 10 years old, I asked my dad just to teach me a few kind of basic chords on the acoustic guitar. And then around 11, I wanted to learn a bit of electric guitar because I just liked the sound of that. And then I guess fast forward to 1 year later, 12 years old, I started kind of just writing songs without even trying to write a song, if that makes sense. I would just sit down and dabble on the guitar, and a little catchy, I guess, melody would come to my head, so I would just write out, like in my journal or on paper. I guess that's kind of before phones. I might have had an iPhone, but just lyrics or concepts or little poems that would come to me. And then as I kind of grew older and started to, I guess, just go through more life experiences and stuff, going into middle school and high school, music and songwriting really was a way for me to kind of just journal my thoughts and get stuff, I guess, off my chest. So then around 14, I started playing at this local kind of cafes, and my first, I guess, bigger performance was at the Winnipeg Folk Festival, which is a really great fest that happens every summer. Unfortunately, they just announced it'll be canceled this summer.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, I know, but it'll keep going beyond that. So I played there. I played 3 songs at this kind of artist showcase, and then I guess it was kind of a domino effect from there because I got a few gigs from being there, and that's, I guess, usually kind of how it works when you start playing locally. People start singing, you start getting your name out there, and one thing kind of leads to another. And then it was definitely a few years of that. I was in high school, so definitely focusing on that, and sports is a big part of my life, so that was my focus around grade 9 to 11. And then come the end of grade 11, I believe it was 2017 going to 2018, I released and recorded my debut EP. So this was kind of the first body of polished work that I had actually gone and independently released. And through that, I was actually nominated through a Western Canadian Music Award for Pop Artist of the Year, which was really, really cool and unexpected at the time. It was kind of my first project, so that was super exciting. And then continued to play mostly just locally at different kind of bars and stuff as I got older. So I got 18, it was exciting, so I could finally play bars and stuff with my band. And the year after, I was on a show called C2B's The Launch, which was a crazy, surreal, wacky, amazing experience. So obviously being able to work with people like Jan Arden and stuff was just incredible, but the whole TV element was new to me and definitely stressful and stuff because it's one thing to play for a live audience, but to go on like national television is definitely a different vibe. So I went on the show. I was chosen as the episode 4's chosen artist, so I got to release a pop single called I Got You, which was super exciting for me and essentially launched my career. I guess that's why they call it the TV show The Launch. But with that as well, it definitely pushed me into a more, I guess, pop genre, which I have been wanting to, I guess, take for a while because I grew up writing more indie folk, singer-songwriter kind of music. But it's been really fun now, I guess, this year and now leading up to my upcoming single release and eventual EP. It's been really cool to work with a producer who can kind of take those initial indie folk ideas or voice memos on my phone and, I guess, execute them in more of a pop way. So that, I guess, is a brief summary, but I'm open to any questions. I'm sure I missed some key things, but
no worries. I'm going to be taking a few steps into a couple of the areas that have been covered, absolutely. So I want to start off with that self-titled debut EP and the decision to start out as a musician beforehand. So you released the EP before you had graduated high school then?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so you had already built quite the repertoire as a musician. So the decision to continuing as a full-time musician going out of that was maybe a little bit easier of a decision for you. Did you have a solid, supportive group around you to help you with doing this?
Actually, yes. I'm very fortunate that my parents and my brother, who's my manager, they were just incredibly supportive through, I guess, the beginning to now, just really encouraging me and not pushing the whole post-secondary thing on me. I guess not the rule, but the thing was with my parents, they said, all right, you can totally just take a year off and pursue music fully, and after that year, maybe just reevaluate what's been going on, if you maybe want to do school part-time. And obviously things were quite busy, and the whole TV show happened, so that was validation, I guess, to kind of continue on. But it's been, how many years now? I think 3 years now of just right out of high school, not going to university, and I guess I'm going to hopefully just pursue this as long as I can, and hopefully not have to go to school, because it's just my passion, and I honestly can't see myself doing anything else. And that's why I think in grade 11 and 12 I really started to consider music as a career path versus just a hobby.
Okay, so when you're 17, how do you go about game planning a move like that? Because like you said, a lot of people would be pressured into post-secondary right away or other things, but when you only have a year before you have to reevaluate, how do you go about setting out the game plan to make sure that you're at least doing this somewhat properly to make sure you make the most out of that year?
So as much as I would like to say I had this big elaborate plan, I think it's safe to say I kind of just went where the wind blew me. I would just kind of wake up every day and just try to work hard and work one step closer to, I guess, being better than I was yesterday, kind of thing. And I think through that, it really kept me just like laser focused on what I wanted to do. And sometimes it can get stressful if you take a step back and go, okay, how am I going to fill my entire year with things that will better me as a musician versus how can I fill today with something that will better me. So I think I definitely just tried to take this whole thing moment by moment. But then again, I've obviously, now I have more songs and stuff, so it's easier to plan. Like, I'm going to release a single now and an EP then. But at the beginning, it was really just taking it second by second.
Okay, awesome. So how did you go about applying to be on The Voice, and how did you find out that you were accepted to be a part of season 2?
So, sorry, it was The Launch, not The Voice.
Oh, sorry. That's my bad.
No, it's all good. They're all quite similar. There's actually a Facebook ad that I came across, and I would have never really considered it until I just kind of looked at the application process, and it wasn't that expensive, which some of them are, so I just went through. It was like a 27, I think, questionnaire. Then you had to just submit your music and stuff, so I just applied without even thinking of it. And it was really cool when I got the email saying, hey, like, you've been chosen, I want you to be on the show. So I got to fly to Toronto, and there's like a full filming process. So it was definitely a whirlwind. It was all a very quick process from the time of applying to then filming. But it was cool, though, because we filmed, I guess, October of last year, and then I had to wait until that February, I guess February 29th. Oh, no, February 2019? February 2019, to announce that I was on the show, because that's when it came out. So it was this weird kind of limbo period of having to keep that secret to myself.
That's interesting. And then the show gets filmed in like a 48-hour period too, does it not?
Right, yeah. So that's why it was just a complete whirlwind, because you audition, and then if you're one of the chosen, so it goes from 5 to 2. So then myself and another girl named Jade, we had to learn the song, record our own renditions of the song in the studio, and then do a live performance for a live audience. So it was just insanity. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I do feel like I really just grew both as a person and as a musician through that whole process, because it really tests you and challenges you.
That is actually something I do want to dive into. I want to find out exactly how has the launch helped you grow, not only as a musician, but also as a person. Of course, we also have to take some time to dive into your new single, Think of Me. We're even going to talk about your October 2019 single, Blacklight. We're even going to go ahead and spin it for the listeners of the DTP here right away for the ambush, so they can go and get that groove going for them. Before we do that, though, we have to take a moment to pay a few bills. So I just want to take a moment to shout out Audible. Why is that? Because Audible is offering you guys, the ambush, one free audiobook with a 30-day free trial subscription of the Audible service. That is right, a free audiobook. let me tell you just how much I love Audible. Right now, I have not had a whole lot of time to actually open up a book, to feel the pages in between my fingers, to read that ink in between. I actually haven't had that time, and that's where Audible comes in, because thanks to Audible, I don't have to fall behind on my sports biographies, on my music biographies, on my personal development books, because Audible has the largest selection of audio programs available on the internet. So you know that they have me covered, and they also have you covered with a free audiobook and a 30-day trial subscription of the Audible service. And where do you go to get that? Well, you head on over to www.audibletrial.com/Desert Tiger. That's right, it's that easy. audibletrial.com/Desert Tiger. Yeah! Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and play Blacklight.
Blacklight, see you on the far side. My mindset, I'm all about your confidence, so don't go shy on me. Blurred lines, see it deep in your eyes. My heart set, stealing all my confidence, so don't take that from me. We don't need no privacy, eyes wide open, watching me. We don't need no walls to be alone, but we never should've come here looking for love, searching for that feeling, would it be enough? Craving just a taste of the way that it was. I'm faded but I'm alright, under the black light. This time I'm asking who the fuck am I? I'm gone but I'm alone tonight. The silhouette stuck in my mind. Without you I'm lonely. We don't need no privacy, eyes wide open, watching me. We don't need no walls to be alone, but we never should've come here looking for love, searching for that feeling, would it be enough? Craving just a taste of the way that it was. I'm faded but I'm alright, under the black light. I need you, think I'm losing my mind. I can feel you, but there's nothing inside. I believed you, but you're covered in lies. I can see them under the black light. I need you, under the black. You know I need you, under the black. You know I need you, oh, under the black light. I need you, baby. But we never should've come here looking for love, searching for that feeling, would it be enough? Craving just a taste of the way that it was. I'm faded but I'm alright, but we never should've come here looking for love, searching for that feeling, would it be enough? Craving just a taste of the way that it was. I'm faded but I'm alright, under the black light.
The Desert Tiger Podcast.
Okay, fantastic. I actually want to take a dive into that, so I like that you brought that up. So I want to know, because earlier you also mentioned that you wanted to make more of a transition into the pop world. This was sort of your first opportunity to do so, and especially on a big stage. So even though it is a 48-hour period, how did those 48 hours help you grow as an individual and grow as a musician who was trying to make their way into the world of pop already?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it is kind of cool and interesting to reflect, because I think going into the whole process, obviously, I think lots of singer-songwriters can relate. We like to hide behind our guitars. So in the audition, I kind of hid behind my guitar, and I guess if you've seen the episode, I slowly kind of lose that guitar and try to walk around the stage more and just get more comfortable. So for me, the studio element I felt a lot more comfortable in, but when it came to live performance, I really had to step out of my comfort zone. And I think just remaining authentic to me, but becoming a better, more elevated version of me, really helped me kind of get through that process. And that was my whole thing. I didn't want to go on the show and be someone I wasn't, but I realized that I had, I guess, kind of a bit of a fire spark within me that had that more poppy, kind of outgoing stage presence inside. So it was really cool at the end of the process to just feel like that I had evolved, I guess.
Okay, awesome. So I also do want to ask that as someone who, like, does understand the idea of hiding behind a guitar, and I have watched the episode, like your performance where you do have to work the entire crowd, whereas opposed to a singer-songwriter where you kind of do get to stand in a different spot. How was that transition for you in 28 hours? Were you incredibly nervous at first?
I was honestly terrified. I was probably the most nervous I've ever been in my life. But I think, there's this quote I'm trying to think, it's like, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And it's so true. And oftentimes now I've just tried to embrace the feeling of being uncomfortable, because that's usually when you're in a place of growth.
All right, fantastic. So the episode and the song release on the exact same day, February 20th, 2019. Finally, after months of having to keep this a secret, it's suddenly out of the bag. From months of just waiting on these things, what was it like to suddenly get hit by another whirlwind of suddenly winning, the episode being announced and the single being released in the same day?
It was definitely a relief, like a sigh of relief, but at the same time it was just very surreal, and even looking back, it feels like a bit of a blur. Everything kind of just happened so quickly, and but everyone was so supportive about it, and there's a really, really positive reaction to the song, which is amazing.
Fantastic. Let's get into some of your own music again, because I Got You was a song that was presented through the launch, because that's something that they do, but October of 2019, you ended up releasing a collaboration track with Roman Clark, Elijah Woods, and Jamie Fire, entitled Blacklight, which would be, I guess, your first pop single outside of the launch. Were these lyrics that you had written yourself?
Yeah, so I actually started that idea probably a year and a half ago, maybe, with my friend Roman. He's a super talented, also local Winnipeg singer-songwriter and artist. So we write lots together. So we had this idea called Blacklight, and we never really did anything with it. So when I had a session last May with Elijah Woods and Jamie Fallon in Toronto, I actually came across an idea before the session, and I thought this would be a really cool thing to try to pursue with them. So I brought that idea to them, and we ended up just kind of switching some things around and rewriting a bit of a chorus and a pre-chorus, and it kind of just happened.
Awesome. So what do the lyrics of Blacklight mean to you?
So Blacklight really just about, I guess, in Blacklight reveals things, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that just means under this black light, that's when you see people's, I guess, true intentions and true colors. So it's kind of more of a dancey kind of club feeling. So it's like as if you were to be able to walk into a club and look at people and just see their intentions kind of written on them.
Okay. No, I like that. Nice and sort of deep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then you transition from that to your new single, Think of Me. It releases today, April 17th, 2020. It's a song of breakup afterthoughts, or at least that's what I get from the vibe of the song. What was the process of recording the song like to you, and what does the song exactly mean to you?
Yes, I wrote that one actually with Tyler Shaw, a really great Canadian musician. So Tyler and I, the first time we ever met. We had a session, and we kind of put down just that song in a demo. And I guess what it's about, it's not about one exact specific breakup. It's more just about how when, I guess, like you're in love and stuff, all the cliches kind of begin to come true. So when you break up, the question of, do you think of me? It's so simple, but it's, I think, something we can all resonate with. And it's really just, I guess, a breakup anthem.
Okay. So was April 17th your initially planned release date for the track?
So we were actually going to release a month earlier, but because of this whole situation, we just wanted to take our time with it, and we ended up adding a few cool elements that I can't release or share yet, but I'm really happy we ended up doing the release because we've gotten some really cool things because of that.
Okay, so you had to adapt your release plan a little bit, probably because you couldn't do, like, going out to TV shows and playing the song in front of a live crowd and that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so with this song and moving forward, how have you felt that, like, with this release, how in the last year and 2 months since the release of I Got You, do you feel like you've grown confidence-wise and in your singing and songwriting? Because I can only imagine in that period of time you've written quite a few songs.
I have been writing a lot, so it's interesting. I'd say as much as I have just received some really awesome validation from either my peers in the industry or other people, I've also been incredibly humbled this past year because I've just gotten to work with some really awesome songwriters and other artists, and I do feel like I've really grown as a songwriter and a performer, but I've also realized that it's a marathon, not a race. So there is a long way to go, but I am really excited about the path I am on, and I'm really excited about these singles to come out and Think of Me to come out, because I do think that it's a great stepping stone into where I'd like to be.
Okay. Do you have any other possible singles planned for the rest of 2020, or have those plans also sort of been scrambled due to the whole worldwide situation?
So I actually do. I haven't announced it yet, but I have 2 other singles coming out after Think of Me, and then we're planning on an EP hopefully early September.
Okay. An EP full of pop tracks, finally your full step into this new world.
Yes, and I am really excited because I think this project is a really nice fusion of that singer-songwriter roots, but also that pop fusion twist.
Okay, awesome. I'm really loving it, and I mean, I'm loving Think of Me too. It's a fantastic jam, whether you're just sitting on a front porch or whether you're going for a cruise. It's a great time, so...
Totally. Thank you so much.
So, I mean, I just bound with excitement for the rest of the singles and to see where those go with as well, because seeing your progression over the last little while and even just listening to your progression from your EP has been just an amazing journey.
Thank you, and I appreciate that so much, and I appreciate you taking the time to chat about it. I'm excited to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I let you go, I just have to know, what sort of impact, what sort of message do you think that you hope to leave as a singer and as a songwriter in your career?
I think at the end of the day, when I look at the music and the songs and artists that I really love and listen to, I love them so much because they're really honest and they talk about things that we can all resonate with. So I think at the end of the day, I just really want to be an artist that people can relate to, and I hope people can confide in the music and just really feel just feel when they listen to my music, because I really look for that when I listen to my own songs and stuff, is do they have a feeling? And if someone can listen to it, and whether it's sad or whether it's happy or whether it's nostalgic, I just at the end of the day want my music to have a mood and a strong feeling.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so very much for joining me here today and for sharing your journey as a singer and a songwriter.
Of course. Thank you so much, and stay safe and stay healthy.
You as well. The songs that you heard today, well, we kicked things off with Olivia Lunny's brand new single, Think of Me. And in the middle of the show, you guys heard her other track, Blacklight. Both of these songs can be found on your favorite music streaming service right now. And when you're there, you might as well go ahead and hit follow so that you can stay in the know, so you can stay up to date for when Olivia Lunny drops new music like that EP we spoke about earlier that we just spoke about. You guys know you're going to want to know exactly when that drops so that it can pick up your days. And of course, with that, I have to go ahead and give Olivia Lunny one last roaring Desert Tiger podcast thank you for joining me here on today's episode. And I also have to go and show a little bit of love for Mackenzie and the team over at Strut Entertainment for helping make this happen. Last but not least, I also have to thank you guys, the listeners of the DTP, the Ambush, for tuning in once again. If you're new, maybe you want to join the crew. Maybe you want to go ahead and hit subscribe. Maybe you enjoy the show enough that you want to go ahead and leave a 5-star review over on iTunes. I really don't think you guys know just how much that helps the show. Maybe you want to share this episode with your friends, your family, on your social media. If you do so, I would be ecstatic if you tagged me, the Colton G, the Desert Tiger podcast, or Olivia Lunny, so that we can show you some mad love for going ahead and doing so. If you also want to support the show, you can head on over to ilovedtp.com and grab yourself a little bit of Desert Tiger podcast merch. Alright, next week on the show, we are joined by Raina Krangle, a singer-songwriter who has been using music as therapy after suffering an injury last year that kind of took her off of the shelf for a bit. We're going to discuss exactly how music has been helping her. We're also going to ask her about how her music has shifted. She also released music prior to this experience. So we're going to get all into the details about that next Friday, April the 24th, 2020 on Desert Tiger. So until then, stay happy, stay healthy, don't stay hungry, stay fed, and yeah, bye-bye!